Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to record this video. It's been something that I've been working on since I took that cooking with cannabis class at the Chesapeake Apothecary, and I've got so much information. I've learned so much, and I finally feel confident to share it with you. So first, let's break this down. I named this THC and CBD 101. So let's get started with that. First of all, THC and CBD are completely different, and they are all part of the cannabis plant. So you have cannabis, and cannabis breaks down into two species, marijuana and hemp. Okay, so marijuana is known for the high THC. This is the one that's gonna have the psychoactive effect and get you high and have that experience. This is the one that is becoming legal, and medical marijuana patients are using this, and the THC is really beneficial for some people using the marijuana. Hemp, on the other hand, is legal in all 50 states due to President Trump signing that 2018 Farm Bill. So you'll see it in store shelves, maybe with lotions. Farmers are being granted the money needed to start farming hemp, and hemp has a long history. It used to be illegal if you didn't grow hemp, and hemp can replace over 25,000 oil-based plastic products. So hemp is amazing, but hemp is also known for high CBD. So whereas marijuana has the high THC, hemp has the high CBD, and they both have their own healing properties. But just to let you know that they both come from cannabis, they split down into two different species, and they both do different things. So that's a little 101 for you. We're gonna talk about cooking with cannabis, and also how to mitigate a high that might be too intense. So as we're seeing cannabis being legalized, decriminalized, use for recreation and medicinal purposes, we're finding a lot of people that are getting into these dispensaries and purchasing marijuana, flower, botanicals, herbs, whatever you want to call it, for the first time. And as a medical marijuana patient myself in the state of Maryland where I live, I know that I have been on this journey for the past 2 years now, so I'd still consider myself a beginner, but it has been so fascinating for me to learn about this. So I'm excited to share with you guys my experience. So I'm gonna break this down. I got some notes here. And I'm going to break this down first into the cannabis dispensaries. If you're going into a cannabis dispensary, it is either legal in that state or legal for medicinal purposes only. So you have to be a patient to be able to go in these dispensaries. So the cannabis dispensaries are known for their marijuana, the cannabis. So they don't really have the hemp because that's legal. They have the marijuana. They have different uses of it, like whether it be like edibles or in different concentrations. Sometimes there will be a shatter or an oil, but it is marijuana cannabis oil derived from the marijuana plant. So whereas hemp would be different, okay? So when you're talking about the cannabis and marijuana, we know that it has the high THC. So marijuana I will also refer to as flower, herb, botanical. It's not weed, it's not a street drug, right? We're changing our language here. So two different things that you can do with this flower from a cannabis dispensary. You can smoke it or you can cook with it. So you guys know I attended a cooking with cannabis class, and I'm going to tell you some more information in a little bit, but let's talk about smoking it first. So when you're choosing a strain to use, the first thing you want to know is what strain it is, whether it's indica, sativa, or a hybrid, which is a mix of both. So they're all going to give you different, a different experience. So an indica would be, personally for me, I use indica when I go to sleep. It's a more of a relaxing, pain relieving, kind of strain, whereas sativa, which is my personal favorite, gives you that energy, it boosts your creativity, just get, things going for you, it gets you that happiness. And then the hybrid is both of them, put together. So you'll want to find which strain is best for you and what time you like to use your strains. And then you'll also get to find out what THC percentage you want to choose from and the terpenes that are in that particular strain, which once I found this out was so fascinating, because terpenes are basically the volatile oil from something that gives it its fragrance. So anything that has a fragrance has a terpene, and that has its own, healing properties. So finding out the different ones, and I can talk about that in another video. So let me know, just comment a keyword below, whatever fascinates you right now, put it below, whether it's terpenes or THC or CBD, or maybe like a question that you have, put it below and I can get back to you guys in another video. So the other thing that you can do with the cannabis you get from dispensaries is to cook with it. So when you're cooking with cannabis, you want to first go to a THC converter. They have these available online, so you can find the right percentage that works for you. And next, you'll want to go through the decarboxylation process. This is when you get your botanical from the dispensary. You're going to put it in the oven at a set time, and this begins the process to turn THCA into THC, and you need to do this before cooking with cannabis. Otherwise, you're going to lose the percentage of THC that's in your flower. So we can talk about that with another video. I do have notes that I took, and it just went with a lot of other things. So we can talk about that. Okay, so when you do this, why you would do this is maybe you want to make, you've probably heard of weed butter or coconut oil that is infused with cannabis oil. So these are awesome to use for beverages. One of the samples that we made in the Cooking with Cannabis class was a medicated matcha, and it was so good. So that is why you would do that portion of it if you're using cannabis to cook with. So say you are eating your THC, and you guys know when you digest things, it's affected different. So it's going to be more of a body high. Maybe you have, sore muscles, aches, and pains. This is where the edibles, digesting it, is going to help you. So sometimes you might experience a high that's too intense, whether you're smoking it or you're eating it. You're going to want to use CBD, and this is going to mitigate that too intense feeling. So if you have too much THC, the first things you're going to experience is maybe like a schizophrenia, paranoia, and that's how you know you've had too much. So just to mitigate this and calm that down, you're going to up your CBD. So there's a few ways to do this. My favorite is to use the oil sublingually, because it gets into your bloodstream within moments. So that's really going to help you. And then if you ate the THC versus smoked it, you're going to have maybe a period where you're more mellow for 30 to 60 minutes. And then after that, it's going to go back up again to being intense. This is because the digestion process of that THC is different versus if you were just to smoke it. It'll process through your system much quicker. So in this class, they also said if you eat too much CBD, if you eat too much THC, take your CBD. And that's just a little, saying that you can say in your head. So for me, I use the HempWorks CBD oil to do this, and I will put it under my tongue. And usually if it's a too intense high, I will use the full dropper. Otherwise, maybe 5 to 10 drops would be sufficient. So I'll just stick it right there under my tongue. And for me, I will vape my THC. So this is a Curio Wellness battery with a cartridge that's inside. So I like it to be, portable, discreet, and these were better than the disposable ones that I was using in the past. And then there's also the gummies. So if you want to eat your CBD, you can do that also. But again, because it's that digestive process, it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you are experiencing pain, sore muscles, aches, this is where possibly eating the CBD is going to help you, because that's going to mitigate that, in the long run. So yeah, I think I went over everything. Let me look through the notes that I have here from the Cooking with Cannabis, just to share a little bit with you. So this decarbing process is a must-do, like I said, before you eat or cook with THC, and they've got some good information on that. So they also have info on the herbs that you would use. I am not an herbalist, but I am definitely looking into it. So things like parsley, black pepper, peppermint, rosemary, tarragon, thyme, basil, allspice, cinnamon, sage, they all have a fragrance to it. So they all have terpenes in them, and terpenes have their own healing benefits. And it also talks about the culinary uses for which herb you're using. For example, if you were to use tarragon, this would be best with seafood, poultry, fish, egg dishes, sauces, soups, veggies, as a salad dressing. You can put it in your tea. And then it talks about the terpenes that are in it. Limonene, pinene, myrcene, asamine. And each one of these, once you look those up, they have their own healing benefits. So choosing a terpene that works for you and maybe the ailments that you're experiencing is a really good thing. So if you want more information on this and finding the right herbs that you can cook with to start feeling better, I can help you there. And then these were just some recipes from that class. It was the workshop. So this is the medicated matcha that I was talking about. They have one for a feel-good salve, and I learned that putting this in the refrigerator is great because it gives it that extra hydrotherapy benefit versus at room temperature. So I use this for my son Blake that has eczema, severe skin issues, and this really helps putting it in the refrigerator. They also gave us an edibles dosing. Like, what turned me off with this whole Cooking with Cannabis is there is numbers involved, and I've never been good with numbers, but he really does break this down. So showing you, the product that you got from the dispensary, how much of each terpenes and THC is in there, and then you got to do some math to multiply and find the right tablespoons and such that you would use to cook with it. So it makes it super easy having this math broken down and the converter being online. So really it takes the guesswork out. And the other one was, a skin soother face mask. So we got to do our own face mask at this workshop too. And just talking about the different kinds of like foods and herbs that you can put on your face that have their own benefits. I know I had used pumpkin and avocado. They also had like the different oils and such, and they had like dry stuff and wet stuff. So I would love to do something with this too, because of Blake's skin. This is gonna be great for me because using the steroids that he was prescribed changed the pigmentation, the color of his skin. So we've got some, I've got to like try and help this. So I know that like using pumpkin on his skin is going to help bring that color back, whereas the creams and stuff kind of strip that. So I've got a lot of work to do. That's why this holistic healing and wellness journey is just so exciting, and especially to like share it with you guys. So if you have any questions, I also have like this, they gave you a lot of guides like antihistamine, antioxidant, antiseptic, ultraviolet rays, like what this stuff means, the pH, detoxification, astringents, free radicals. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I have here, and it's just so fascinating for me to learn. So I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. I'm so excited to start making more as I learn and sharing it with you. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.